Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Symbiotic Vibration. I am Evan, and today I'm going to be speaking about how I lived while I was dying. Now, you'll notice that we're in a car today, and we're not in the office. The reason being, I'm quite busy, and I've just come off a work shift. I have things to do today, and I don't have time to sit in my office. So currently, we find ourselves in Waterford, a beautiful city which once I lived when I was in college. And I won't be staying here talking very long because this is just the intro and I have to pee really badly. But essentially, whilst I speak about how I lived a day in the life of a sick person, shall we say, I'm also going to be bringing you on a little tour of a morning in my life right now. Now, it won't be dramatic and it won't be that adventurous because I have things to do, and also, as usual right now, it's raining and it's grey in Ireland. But, I'll give you a little manifesto of what we got going on today. I'm in Waterford. I have to pick up a few things here. And then I will speak to you more in the car when I get back and I have excreted my urine. And I'm going to go then to a beach on the way back home. And I have a idea for a short form video. So I will bring you on a walk. We will talk about how I lived my life back then. We will have a little nice time on the beach. I brought some boiled eggs and a banana. So we'll eat that for breakfast at some point. And then, that's about it really. We should be able to fit in 10 to 15 minutes of me speaking about how I lived while I was dying. So let's leave it at that. I'm going to go for a pee and do my things, and I'll see you soon. Hello, party people, and we are back. You'll notice I'm now wearing a different jacket. This jacket I just acquired in Waterford whilst I was out shopping for other people, which is funny. It happens a lot. I was walking past Regatta, 70% sale. I realise as well that I don't have many clothes, which suits me perfectly when I'm not on camera, because why would I need many clothes? I don't know if any of you beautiful viewers feel the same, but as I start to age, or continue to age, should I say, I feel less and less inclined to wear an outfit every day and change my outfits to appease people and to try and impress people, and in fear that I will be judged. It's just like, hey, this fleece is comfortable and I'm going to wear it every day because it's really nice. Apologies if the camera's rocking. I don't have anything to keep it stable in this car and I want to move, so I'm trying to keep as still as possible, and it's hard because I might have ADHD or I might have drank too much coffee because I'm tired and it's been a long life. Cheers. So anyway, we're still in Waterford. We're going to go to the beach very shortly, but before I kind of break down what it was like to live day to day as an ill man, as a man dying, as a man with a brain tumour, firstly, I'd like to speak about, how life stops when you receive a diagnosis. And if you are going through a chronic illness or addiction or some form of diagnosis right now and you're watching this, well, then maybe this will be insightful, because it's such a profound experience to be moving fast in life, especially as a young man, as I was, to be moving so fast. Everything is just ahead of me. I'm flowing through life. I don't really have a plan. I'm working, I'm traveling now, and I'm working on a site, and I'm trying new things, and I'm drinking, and I'm partying, and I'm having good times with my friends, and I'm trying to find a lady, and etc. And then all of a sudden, months later, I would go through all of this suffering and eventually get to the point where I receive a diagnosis. A wrong diagnosis, but a diagnosis nonetheless. We'll get into that maybe later. And, life stops in an instant. You have all of these grandiose plans. You're young, you're alive, you have spirit, you have life force. And then somebody tells you that now your life path has changed dramatically. Now you have a diagnosis, so your plans have stopped, your life has stopped. Everything stops, your work stops, and then your identity no longer exists, because at that point in time, and I'm sure you all viewing will probably have experienced this, but I think as human beings on this planet, within the structures of this society, we do tend to cling to our roles in society as our identities. So, for instance, I was a stonemason. There's a part of my identity. I was a travelling man in Canada, another part of my identity. I like to drink, I like to party, I like to play music with people, another aspect of my identity. And so there is my identity as such at that point. But now life has stopped. Now I do not have an identity. And that's a terrifying experience, and it is very depressing, and it is very isolating. So if you are going through that, perhaps seek some support. as I always say, there's somebody out there who knows the experience that you are going through, who may have walked a similar path, who may be able to contextualize what's happening for you. So if you are going through something like this and you're watching this video and you need some support, well, go find some. And if you can't find some, reach out to me, reach out in the comment section. There's going to be plenty of people joining. And if you haven't joined already, subscribe and, give love to people. We all need it. But anyway, so work stopped, plan stopped, life stopped, identity halts. And then, it kind of begins, I guess, not as such be developing a plan or a routine or a lifestyle, but at that point we are now at what we would perceive to be rock bottom, and now we have to either accept rock bottom and fester in our own pain and depression, which I did for quite some time, in denial and in a distractive state, and we will talk about that in a future moment while I'm at the beach maybe. But essentially, just to finish this one up, because I'm trying to keep it short as possible, addiction was a big thing for me and remains, and it will be a massive part of this channel, because addiction is something that I came here to experience and I came here to learn about, and I most certainly have plenty of experience and learning done. So I was addicted to cigarettes back then. I also, if I was to tell you how much I drank, how much drugs I took back then, you would say that I was addicted to alcohol and cocaine and MDMA and etc. Now, to me, at that point, I didn't feel like I had an addiction to any chemicals like that. I just felt like I was young and I was doing things. But I was drinking 3, 4, 5 days a week probably at that point, and taking drugs multiple days a week. And so to come back and then all of a sudden be given this diagnosis and just shut down, I went through some incredible experiences with regards to withdrawals and relapsing. Even while I had a brain tumor, I would relapse and I would go drinking, or I would take cocaine sometimes. Now, that wasn't a drastic amount of times, but it did happen, and it was very, very silly, and it didn't end very well for me on any of those occasions. But also cigarettes, I was still sneaking out to have a cigarette here and there at the beginning of my diagnosis, even though I knew I was possibly dying. I was like, well, my addictions, they're more important. And I had to quell those. And, we will go back into this deeper in a future addiction short series, but I think that's important for you to know, that if you are going through something life-altering right now, that, it's not going to make giving up any of these chemicals instantly easy, because you still are connected to those chemicals physically and mentally and emotionally and ancestrally. So it's difficult. But anyway, I'm mumbling now. So I'm going to go to the beach, and then we will speak about, I suppose, my life as it was back then. And thanks for watching. We're about probably 8 minutes into this video. I'm going to try and keep it under 20, so we're doing well on time. And I love you all, and I'll see you on the beach, or at least near it. Hello there. Hope you can see everything behind me. I'm currently at Bunmahan, and it is windy but not rainy, and I don't have long because I'm quite busy today, so I'm going to quickly walk to the beach, and I will talk about a day in the life of a sick man at that point for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, because I am in a rush and it's going to be a busy day, but the show must go on. The show must go on. So I'll see you on the beach. Oh God. Okay, so we've arrived at the beach. It is incredibly windy, and it is hopefully not too noisy. I'm going to turn on the voice isolation, so that hopefully will help us. But just have a look at that beauty. It's absolutely incredible. The water is coming up towards me now, so I'm going to have to make this very quickly. But interesting, I met another YouTuber just on the beach now, and I'll actually link his profile here right now. His name is Matt, I think, and he's got 6,000 subscribers nearly, and he takes photos, and he's amazing. And what a cool dude. So hopefully he's going to share me on his profile, and we might get this train rolling a little bit. But anyway, let's take a little video. We're already doing that. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my bag to sit down. Actually, I can't do that. Okay, so we find ourselves in this cave.
and it is a very windy day, so I really do hope that the audio works well here. So already we've run through, what it was like to fall into a freeze during a diagnosis and lose your identity, lose your sense of self. And from there on, I suppose throughout the start of my illness, I was diagnosed with a pineal cyst, which would inevitably turn out to be a tumour. And once I was diagnosed with a tumour, and I realised I was dying, and I knew at the time there was very little surgeons that could help me because my tumour was at the centre of my brain. So I would have to wait for over a year to get that removed. And during that year, I was under threat of my mortality being finished. So planning my days was very unusual because I didn't know if my life was going to cease at any point in time. And if any of you out there are watching this video and you're feeling like you don't know what to do, if you're facing an illness or you're waiting for a surgery or you're going through some form of therapy, then I think a routine is extremely beneficial, and most certainly to find a routine that suits you, to give yourself a sense of purpose, to give your reality something to cling on to rather than just ruminating and waiting for the inevitable end. So yeah, my daily life was very interesting. It wasn't exactly what I would do now if I was ill, but at the time I was very interested in poker, and so I didn't have much money. I had €10, but I studied into poker, and I studied into like long-term poker grinding careers. And rather than sitting down all day watching TV and ruminating and festering in my own pain and depression, I decided I'd try and routinize my life. And so I started playing 10-cent tournaments and 5-cent tournaments, and I basically created a 9-to-5 schedule where I'd wake up in the morning and I had a computer and I had a desk and stuff my parents bought me while I was ill. And yeah, I spent my days structured, 9 to 5 playing poker, and then I'd finish my day and I'd watch my movies and I'd watch my things. But I got really into it, and I even built a Twitch stream that I never got around to doing, but that gave my life some structure, that gave my life some routine. And outside of that, I would go to the swimming pool a couple of times a week so that I could lie in water and take the pressure off my tumour and talk to people, and most certainly older people in the sauna who would have similar stories because they were older and they had also suffered. It made me feel normal. It made me feel welcome, and they treated me like a normal person, which was lovely. And as well as that, I would go for as many walks as I could do at the time. Given my circumstances, I was in a lot of pain. So, not every day was poker day, not every day was walk day, not every day was beach day, or not every day was swimming day, but I did as much as I could with the time that I had. And I always had in my mind that I was going to be better, I was going to get through this, and if I was going to do that, then I'm going to have to still keep prepared, give my body its best fighting chance to recover, give my mind the best chance to recover. And also, I suppose at that time I was reading and I was researching, and I still played some music, and I tried to fill my life with as many normal activities as possible, even though I was ill. And I think if any of you are watching this and also are seeking routine or seeking something to do while you're ill or while you're waiting for therapy or whatever it is, then I would say find a routine that suits you. Research, find some hobbies, do some health exercise, or at least as much as you can. And yeah, look, I'm going to leave it at that because my camera's getting wet, but just know that I love you all, and I'll finish this back up in the office at home with my new lens, and hopefully the audio works throughout this. But yeah, I'll see you soon.
Okay, so we find ourselves back in the office. This is not the new lens, and it has been actually 2 days since I took any footage for this episode due to an illness that came over me for 30 hours or so. It was kind of a vomiting fella. I won't get too deeply into it, but it wasn't the nicest day yesterday, and I'm still quite exhausted, but alas, I have to go to work today. So I just said I'd pop on and finish the rest of this episode via the camera, and then I'll edit and work, and I'll use their Wi-Fi because we're still waiting on ours. But yeah, I'm aware that this episode was kind of chaotic as opposed to the last few that were just in the office. So if you have any feedback with regards to just following me around in my days, let me know, because if you do enjoy that, and I can continue to do that, I could probably get a lot more episodes out. But yeah, I also I'm aware that the episode itself was called "The Day in the Life of Me When I Was Ill," and the first 8 minutes were just me kind of chatting away. So yeah, if you have any more questions or would like me to expand on anything, do let me know. And yeah, that's all I have for you. I'm going to go to work now and finish this editing and stuff. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one.